Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be running the Fossil Cup League. It's a brand new league that just got rotated, and let's see what team that we end up using. Here we're going to be pairing the Jellicent with the Escavalier and the Lucario. So basically an ABB with double fighters in the back, or counter users I should say. Here, since we are the first ones to switch out, we do have the energy advantage. And as you can see here, we always get to the draw run before our opponent does. So here, as long as we just match shields, or in fact, we're just gonna have to one shield and possibly farm down. We'll see what happens. All we have to do is just maintain alignment. Okay, so we are gonna have to double shield. That makes sense. And then we're gonna be able to farm down here to maintain alignment because we had a great lead and we want to maintain that lead. They're going to come back in with their Lucario. Their Lucario has an energy advantage, and we definitely don't want to come in with our own Lucario. So we have to come in with our Jellicent. We are going to have to tank a Shadow Ball here. This Shadow Ball is not going to KO, so that's good for us. And then they try to snipe us right there. Unfortunately for them, we do have a Lucario ready for them. And we probably didn't even need to throw a move. Because we can survive any move. Even that thunder right there, was enough to survive. So GG's to our opponent right there, and let's see how we do on the next one here. What do y'all think about this Jellicent and Fighting Core? I know it's a brand new league and people are still trying to figure out what to use. Initial thoughts are like it's a very small meta. It seems like. I guess that's what happens when you have only three typings. So we have the Jellicent matchup, mirror match here. This all comes down to who's willing to call the bait, who's willing to go for it. So this is truly a 50-50 call. We do get the Shadow Ball, and so we know that we're ahead of energy now, so we know that we can get to this Shadow Ball before them. So we're going to apply the pressure, and we're going to go for the Shadow Ball. They do end up shielding. Okay, and now we're going to shield this one. So they do switch out here, and because none of us have shields left, we should be good because this Escavalier is going to be able to survive a Focus Blast. It does a lot of damage, over 70%. I don't know the exact amount, but it's looking like at least 70%. So that was actually perfect for us. It didn't KO. We allowed them to chip us away. This Jellicent got one Hex off, I think, and then that allowed us to get to the Shadow Ball first. So if we had allowed an additional Hex from this Jellicent on that Escav, we would have lost for sure. So here, we're going to force them to use energy. We know we can survive a Rock Slide, so we don't immediately throw. But because we have a Surf Banked, we decided to switch out to force them to go back and get energy enough for it. Earthquake, that's the only way they're going to be able to take out this Lucario. This Stunfisk now is so low that the Surf from our Jellicent will be enough to KO. So GG's to our opponent right there. These matchups become super close. So make sure you get as much bulk as you can on any of these that you end up picking. So essentially, you want to try to get it as low as attack as possible because, man, some of these Pokemon that are left with just a sliver of health, depending on like how high your attack is, they could survive or barely survive, not survive. Just to let y'all know about that. So here, we obviously want to see this in the front. This is kind of another baiting game, but we do have a little bit better matchup. With our Jellicent versus this Pelipper, of course, we don't want to use our fighters to try to go up against this. We do go for that Shadow Ball. That Shadow Ball was able to get through, so we're going to be able to just use Surf now. They do end up going for the Hurricane. We survive it. And now it's just a matter of them deciding, do they want to invest the shield to win the lead or let it go? They decided to let it go, and we're probably gonna switch out. Okay, we end up switching out. This ends up being a Swampert in the back. So Swampert in the back. Problematic for that Lucario, but hopefully this Escav can do as much damage as possible. Ooh, looks like our opponent actually DC'd, or they just gave up for some reason. I guess they don't want to play this out because the Escav is going to be able to do a lot of damage to the Swampert, and then whatever we have in the back will be able to take care of him. I don't know. Oh, looks like they try to come back here, and unfortunately, that's a GG's. So a little bit of an unfortunate situation for my opponent right there, but it happens. All right, moving on. We have to kind of get a feel for this synergy. So far, the Jellicent and a fighter synergy is great, but I don't know if double fighters in the back is necessarily the thing we want. But let's keep trying it out. So it looks like this Gyarados is running the waterfall version. Lucky for us, we are resisting all of these waterfalls. We do get a shield from our opponent because we think the fact that they're staying in with a unfavorable fast move, we figured that they're going to shield that first one, and then we just go for the bait again because we really think that they're trying to win the lead, and indeed that's what happens. And so we're just trying to get to a Shadow Ball here. Because we're at the Shadow Ball, we're going to shield this just to get the Shadow Ball off, even though it was a bait. But now we are able to guarantee that it gets taken out, and then now we can see what's in the back. What's in the back? Let's find out. If it's some kind of steel type. Oh, that is actually the worst situation for us. Now this Escav is going to be able to ramp up so much energy. I don't know. Okay, we force out a shield, or we force out a switch out, and then they end up having the worst thing we could see in the back. Jellicent in the back is the worst thing we can see in the back. So the GG's to our opponent right there just happens to have the optimal backline for our team here. That Jellicent, unfortunately, is able to get to those Shadow Balls way before we get to our charge moves, and now it's just GG's. Unfortunate. Maybe if we had saved the energy on our own Jellicent and switched out with our own Escav when they brought in their Escav, maybe we would have done something with it, but unfortunate for us right there. It's all good. We move on. This really feeling like it's a very, very even more fast-paced battles than usual, if that makes any sense. All right, here we got the same matchup again. This is Pelipper. Pelipper is trying to throw a Hurricane, but we're also trying to throw a Shadow Ball. It all becomes a baiting game. Who is willing to shield? Who is willing to make the call? This time our opponent decides to shield the Shadow Ball. Good for them. Here we got to make a decision. Are they going to go for the Hurricane? Are they going to go for the bait? We have to shield it. We do get baited. And then now we're back at this game again. Our opponent is throwing Hurricanes here, so we know that we can go for one Shadow Ball here to guarantee at least taking out this. Oh, almost take out. Okay. This Cradily, though, is interesting because the Cradily is rock and grass type. It is going to be able to throw neutral rock slide. That rock slide ended up doing a lot of damage. And they end up getting to another rock slide, even though we had the drill run energy. This is not the end of the world because this allows our Lucario to farm energy, and there's no move that Cradily can throw at this Lucario that we have to worry about. So we get a full farm down, and now we have energy for whatever is in the back here. Remember, they have a pretty low Pelipper, and it looks like they have a Stunfisk here, so they're going to have to go for an Earthquake, and we're trying to ramp up as fast as possible. This ramp up is going to really come in handy here. All this extra counter damage, and we're going to allow to get to a Surf because we're forcing that energy, but we get to the Surf first. So GG's to our opponent right here. Check out this team if you haven't already. Jellicent, double fighters in the back, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.